All right, give me some sweet.
Hello, how's it going?
Hi.
I've got a perpetual cough, so I brought water. Hopefully I won't have to cough too many times.
Start?
What do you mean? Yeah, I'm just
We
gonna
haven't
start.
even talked about anything that we're going to talk about. And
That's wasting
You haven't
content.
even tried to put the
Yeah,
camera on.
we're wasting content.
Why are you not going to try the camera? Why'd you say
Because
that?
I don't want to spend any time on it right now. We can do it on our first real episode rather than the comeback. She's upset at me because she put makeup on, and then I said maybe the
No,
camera's
I
not
already
going to
had
be.
makeup on, but we talked about how when we came back, like we told everybody a million times that we were going to have video and we have a brand new room and
Yeah.
it's going to start off with a letdown right off the bat.
Well, I don't think just
Par for the course.
they should be. Yeah, they should be happy to have an
used to
episode.
being let down.
Jeez, this is what it's like to be married.
I mean, it's your experience for what it's like to be married.
Do you not? Oh yeah, you don't have a similar one. Yours is different. So,
Complains about different things.
This is Star Wars Nerds Unite. Welcome back to Star Wars Nerds Unite.
No. We have to talk before we start recording.
No, we don't.
Oh my god.
I'm your host, Tim Van Autrive. Joining me, as always, Josh the Tosh, internet famous Mason,
Hello.
and Jennifer Van Autrive, my wife.
Hi.
Hi.
Hello.
We are a Star Wars podcast, or we used to be a long time ago. We haven't recorded in over 2 years, I think. Isn't that nuts?
Has it been 2 years?
No, it hasn't.
It's like a month off, maybe.
No, because it was a year. It was October, I think, of 2020. So it's a year and a half, almost.
I don't remember recording in October, but whatever.
Yeah, we did like one random episode that said that I 166th or order 66th the podcast. Get it? Because it was episode 166.
Oh,
I get it.
yeah, I got it.
You killed us all.
Yeah. Kill this off. Okay. Well, we're going to talk a little bit about Star
Were you
Wars.
the only one in that podcast?
Who?
You.
What podcast?
The one in October.
No.
Oh, okay.
You guys were in it?
I don't remember.
I don't
at
remember
all.
either.
Okay. Well, whatever. It's
That
on,
was- that
it's
was
on the
like-
internet. Just open up the podcast app or whatever your preferred podcast listener is. We're off to a horrible start. There's so much fighting. It's almost exactly the same as when we left off.
Yeah.
I'm glad we're knocking the rust off so quickly. We're going to talk about Star Wars today a little bit. We don't have a major topic today. We're going to talk about our experience at Disney World,
Galaxy's Edge.
Galaxy's Edge, and also, what else are you going to talk about, Jenny?
Just catching up with everybody.
Oh, okay. Like a quick, what'd you do during the pandemic?
Yeah.
What'd you do during summer break?
Summer break? Okay.
Because, like, in posterity, in 2068, when somebody's listening to this, there won't have been a 1.5 year gap.
Well, they could still see the
But
date
they'll never
gap.
know.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, you're right.
Their queue will just...
Oh man. I talked to Jesus, our artist.
When?
I've been talking to him. I mean, I never really completely stopped. I just had gaps. He's still going to do our cover art.
Nice.
Yeah, really nice. I also talked to him about like a media blitz.
A media blitz.
Yeah, for our comeback. Our
Ooh,
comeback tour.
man.
Nice.
He had a
Traditional
particular idea.
media, social media.
Oh yeah,
All of the media.
You didn't see the Super Bowl ad?
No.
That's funny. Okay, Jenny, go ahead. What do you want to say about Galaxy's Edge, the park inside a park at Disney World, Orlando, Florida?
Yeah. I don't know exactly. I think it came out in 2020 or 2019, around there, because
No research.
Josh was the first one that went, right?
It came out in late 2019.
Yeah, 20. Okay, that's what I was right. Tim and I have been there twice since it's open now. We've never all three been together at the same time
At Galaxy's
at
Edge.
Galaxy's Edge
Right.
yet.
We could do that.
So, but I don't think we ever heard your perspective of it.
No,
from
we
when
were
you
going
went.
to talk about
Yeah,
it, and then we never did.
Yeah, so we can talk about it right now. It's in Hollywood Studios. That's my favorite park.
Inside a park.
This is Disney World in Orlando, Florida.
Disney
for
World,
people who don't
Orlando,
know.
Florida.
There's
There-
also a
said that already.
Disneyland. Well, she just said Disney.
Disney World.
There's a Disneyland in Anaheim, California that has the same ride. And it is the same experience.
There's
if you're
Galaxy's
ever,
Edge is exactly the same.
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
I had no idea.
Yeah.
The things you learn. Research.
Yeah, Hollywood Studios has always been my favorite park, and they kind of keep making it better and better.
Why was it your favorite?
I love the atmosphere, and I like the Hollywood buildings. I like the design of everything. And
me, it
I
has
love
the
movies.
worst atmosphere, though.
I love movies, and I love
Oh, I like it the best.
I love
too.
the buildings. I like the old Hollywood vibe, and
But it's only like it's only for the first,
It is
when
now.
you're walking
It is
down
now.
the street.
I still remember when you went further down, and it's still kind of that way in the Muppet area. Although they keep trying to kind of shove that off.
I've just always loved it, and it's so much more calm than Magic Kingdom. There's so much going on at Magic Kingdom, like every second. There's so much stimulus coming at you from everywhere, and you feel like you
You're
have
under
to
attack.
be racing around to all these different parts of the park, or you're going to miss something. But Hollywood Studios has
There's
a
just
lot
nothing
of
to do.
no. There's tons of stuff to
You
do.
can't miss anything.
There's a lot of really
more
good.
compact.
There's a lot of really
less
good
walking
stuff
get
to do,
everywhere.
but there's not so much stuff that's like you feel like you should go do it, and then after you do it, you're like, well, I could have missed that. At Hollywood Studios, I feel like it's more quality versus quantity of different stuff to do, and it's not so much geared for little kids. And I
To
like
me,
the
it's
shows there.
the least immersive outside of Batu.
What is Magic
so-
Kingdom immersing you in?
Well, all the different like the zone. I can't remember what they call them, but
There's Future World,
well, they call it something else.
Tomorrowland,
Tomorrowland,
Fantasyland,
Adventureland.
Adventureland,
and then the Main Street USA,
Frontierland.
Frontierland. I don't know. They just all. They're more I think the compactness and the alive. It feels more alive. Hollywood Studios.
it's relaxing.
You walk through and it's like nothing's happening. Nothing's happening.
Yeah, but it's relaxing for
There's
adults
a couple
to
shops. Nothing's happening.
be there. They have
I
really
would say
good
it's relaxing
stores.
for you to be there.
They have really good stores there, but they had the past 2 or 3 times I've gone. This show has been shut down, but the Little Mermaid live action singing show is the best.
I think they got rid of it.
No,
The building is still
still
there.
No, like they just recently announced they're getting rid of it.
Well, that's
Really?
gonna
Yeah.
make me extremely sad. That's my
dumb.
favorite show, and it like actually makes me like tear up when I
yeah,
watch
it's
it.
an actual. It's probably too expensive.
It's so
it's an actual
Because
show.
human
It is-
beings have to do
It is
something.
so
Yeah.
good. It is so good. That has always been my favorite show to watch. I don't know, and all the rides are good. Like, it's just I like it.
I don't know.
And I just feel like Magic Kingdom has a lot of really cool stuff, but it's way more stressful.
So Epcot's the lamest. We can
Of
all agree
course,
with that.
everybody knows that. Epcot feels
I
like
I
you're
think
on a middle school
Epcot
field
grows on
trip.
you when you're drinking.
If you're going there without kids and Epcot could be completely split into 2 different parks.
Yeah.
but then it really even couldn't.
The World Showcase.
But
could
yeah,
be-
but that's
The
not
World
like
Showcase
a park.
is
Right.
just downtown Disney.
The World Showcase, if you just go there to try different food and drink and walk around with
which is
adults,
awesome. Which is awesome.
then that could be a great night and that could be fun. But then the whole other part feels like you're in a middle school field trip and you're supposed to be learning something you're going to have to talk about later
Right.
in front of everybody. Like, it's,
yeah, it's-
so
you get to
lame
learn about other cultures.
compared to
It's
the other.
cool.
No, it's not about different cultures. It's like
Yes, it is.
environmental stuff. They have like,
But it's environmental stuff from like 15 years ago.
yeah, and like they have a
yeah.
butterfly
It's super
garden.
outdated.
that is true.
They have a butterfly garden. They've got an aquarium. They've got stuff. I don't know. It's just, it's like cute. And if you were like going anywhere else, it'd be so cool. But when you're in Disney World and all the other parks are so like, keep you on the edge of your seat and are so amazing. Then when you go to Epcot, you're like, what the heck is this? Why does this cost the same amount of money
What's funny
as
is
the other parks?
Job's favorite park is Epcot.
A lot of people love it more than anything. A lot of people say
crazy.
that's their favorite park.
I like Epcot.
You used to hate it.
I did. It used to be my least favorite.
Me and Nora actually do like it better now, but only if you only go to World Showcase and stay out of the rest.
Yeah. Well, the front part used to be cool. Like you used to have all kind of science experiments and stuff in the front.
Yeah, it used to be cool. You used to have to do science.
And then all the science is cool, you weirdo.
That's not what people go on vacation for.
You never know.
I
People go to
enjoy it.
children's museums on vacation.
Yeah, like when in their own town on a Saturday
No,
for
like
like 2
people drive to
hours.
St. Louis to go to the children's museum, the Magic House.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did that
We've
once.
been there. We've done it together.
Right. Anyways,
Anyway, Epcot.
Magic
Wars.
Kingdom to me is the most immersive and the most fun.
Magic
Star
Kingdom
Wars.
is...
Hollywood Studios is not immersive at all to me, but second most fun.
I love
Animal
Hollywood
Kingdom
Studios.
is super immersive, third most fun. Epcot, sort of immersive.
I think Epcot is beautiful, like the landscaping and the
Yeah,
flowers.
but there's nothing to
Right,
do.
I know. It's just like, that's what I'm saying. It feels like you're in a botanical
Star Wars.
garden museum place.
We got to set the stage for all these people that are going to go to Disney World to
They-
try
they-
this
they
park
were-
out.
Okay.
We got to get the whole Disney podcast out.
So,
So-
they can go to Hollywood Studios.
So the reason I wanted to bring it up is because like Hollywood Studios without Batuu
Has not enough.
is mega lame.
It didn't used to be so lame. There was a lot more stuff.
There's
they
like
had a
Tower
giant-
of Terror, the Aerosmith roller coaster, and
A Frozen
Minnie and Mickey.
singing.
the
Have
Frozen sing along.
That is a really good show,
Star
too.
Tours. And
Yeah.
the Muppet thing.
All
They used to have
lame.
Indiana
What
Jones.
about
the new Mickey Mouse ride is really good.
the whole Toy Story Land and the new Minnie and Mickey
But
ride?
even the Toy Story Land, it's like a 30-second coaster. And
Slinky
then,
Dog is very, very fun.
then the Whirly Whirl things. And it's cool, but it's so small. There's 3 things to do.
No, never mind. That's going to be at Magic Kingdom. They're putting in a
can
Tron
shop.
ride.
And eat.
The Tron ride will be in Future World.
Yeah.
Whatever we call it, Tomorrowland.
Tomorrow.
Oh, I've seen it. Well, I've seen it being built.
Right?
And I saw it from the Contemporary.
Tower of Terror is one of the best rides there. Sorry.
Why are we not talking about Star Wars?
Because we got sidetracked. Tower of Terror and Slinky
But
Dog are
I'm
both
suggesting we become unsidetracked.
extremely fun. I will, okay. So anyway, Hollywood Studios has Galaxy's Edge, opened in 2019.
Part of the experience, I have to explain, being because I went when it was newer,
Yeah, when it first opened.
and so the way that you got to ride this thing.
Oh, wait, I have a whole bunch of notes about this.
Do
And
you
they-
want to do your notes first or my story?
Go ahead, I don't care.
All right. So when it first came out, it was impossible to ride. You had to sign up for a virtual queue in the morning.
Yeah.
7
had-
a.m.
That sounds like
You had to be
every
in
ride
the
now.
park, like physically in the park at 7 a.m.
That's not how it was when we did it.
Right. And so to be in the park at 7 a.m., you had to be at the park at 5:30 in the morning so that you could get through security because everybody wanted to be in the park at 7 a.m. to sign up for the ride. So we had to take an Uber to get there because no public transportation runs at 5 in the morning. Even
Were
at
you
Disney.
not staying on site?
Doesn't matter. The buses don't run at 5 in the morning.
Oh.
They start an hour before rope drop. So, anyways, we had to get there. Joe really wanted to go, and I went, and Megan went. Lucy stayed with Grandma. She didn't want to stand in line for hours and hours. So we got in. We're sitting there, and there's just this mass of people, and everybody has their phone out because it's 7. You got to try and win the lottery to try and get on this ride. And we were both doing it, and like the whole reservation system where you're trying to reserve it for a group, and so we're both trying to reserve it for the same group, and we're fighting, and so we ended up getting in like the 3rd group of the morning.
Nice.
But we thought we were in the 3rd standby group because at the time they were doing like 50 normal groups and then standby groups. And so we thought we were screwed. We thought, because normally they never even got to the standby groups because the ride would shut down so many times.
Yeah.
So they'd barely get through the
And
first.
you're talking about Rise of the Resistance.
Yes.
You didn't say that.
We didn't even say
Yeah,
what
there's-
ride you were talking
There's
about.
2 different rides
Well,
in Galaxy's Edge. Rise of the Resistance and Smuggler's Run. And Rise of the Resistance is definitely the more sought after one.
Well, and it came out later. So Batuu was there for 7 or 8 months before Rise of the Resistance even was running. So it was just the stores and the cantina and the lightsaber. And we'll get to all that. But yeah, I'm speaking specifically for Rise of the Resistance. And so we got in line for Smuggler's Run because we thought we were screwed. So we just go ride the Millennium Falcon ride. And about halfway through that line, they're like, oh, it's your turn to ride Rise of the Resistance. And so we went and got it. And there was no line at that point because it's like they were only taking people on passes.
Yeah.
So from that point on, it was about a 30-minute experience without any waiting. So I guess maybe now you can talk about more stuff. Well, so it was painful, like to get on the ride.
It still is if you.
So they've changed it twice at least since your experience. So we went the first time in May of 2021. You went before the pandemic started. So when we went in 2021, the pandemic was going on, and they made a lot of changes already. So they still had the virtual queue, but if you were staying on property, you could open up the app at 7 a.m. from your resort and get in the virtual queue. One thing they changed during the pandemic is that you didn't just have to have a ticket for every day that you were going to go to the park. You had to have a ticket and make a reservation in advance to what park you were going to that day. And if you didn't have a reservation for Hollywood Studios, you could not even try to get in a virtual queue. So at 7 a.m., everybody in the world gets on their phone from the hotels and tries to get in the virtual queue. And then if you get in, you don't get to pick a time. It just tells you.
Spits you what group
and then you have if you get in quickly, then you have to immediately get there.
Right.
And so in May of 2021, we took all the kids. We had all of us. And so to prepare for this, we had to all watch multiple different YouTube videos, people giving all this different advice of how to get on the virtual queue.
Yeah.
There's all these videos and tips, and it's like, turn your Wi-Fi off.
Right, use cellular.
Use cellular only, it'll be quicker.
Yeah.
And then, so we had to set all these alarms and made the kids set their alarms.
7 people all trying to get at the same time.
all of us at the same time. And then the videos say, don't let the app slow you down. If it asks you questions, just keep skipping, push the button, and just keep going. And then even if it doesn't have your whole group, just keep skipping it, and just so you get a spot. So we were all up, all trying at the same time in the hotel, and Paige got on. But it's so complicated, the way all the different tickets and people and everything lines up. You're not always in a group with everybody, depending on what accounts you were first created with.
Who can manage other accounts.
Who can manage your account, and how old you were when your account was created, and all this ridiculous technological tape you have to go through. So she didn't have all access to the whole family, so she just click and got us in a virtual queue, and it only had a few of us. And I was like, but she got us in super early, so we had to hurry up and get to the park.
Which for you people in the listening audience,
7 a.m. is super early.
You're not
for
morning
us.
people.
No.
Tim and Jen and the family are not morning people.
No, not at all.
I'm surprised you were up at 7.
Yeah.
When we go to Disney, it's excruciating.
It's horrible. We can only do 2 days in the park in a row before we need a rest day.
So we get to the park.
I wake up in the morning now.
Oh, yeah.
I get up actually kind of early.
Oh.
So we get to the park.
I was up at 5 yesterday.
And first thing, of course, we running, getting through security as fast as we can. We immediately have to go to guest services, who I have to go to almost every single day when I'm in Disney for something. So then we had to have them fix our reservations to get our whole family on, because obviously we came together, but Paige didn't have access to it. So they did it. They got us all together, and so then we all had a reservation. So then we went to the virtual queue because we were already, it was already time. So then we got to Rise of the Resistance. It's just so much tape to go through, and
rush. We had to rush into to the area, and so all the fun of discovering it slowly and taking it in.
because we hadn't even been there yet, and we're running around trying to find it.
So you lose that.
And Rise of the Resistance is
that
not
part's
in
fun.
an obvious spot, like the entrance to it. It was not
That's
easy
about
to-
halfway in, though. Like, you don't go all the way in, at least.
But you don't,
So
like,
you-
there's
there's
no...
still some
It is on
secrets
one
that are
side.
hidden.
It is
It's
on one
kind
side.
of confusing. Like, it's,
Sure.
like, not obvious even where the entrance of it is. But anyway...
Well, that's one of the things I was going to talk about once we talk about the ride itself and not just your experience.
Yeah.
Is the entrance is super cool because it's the whole scheme is that you're doing a secret mission with the rebel,
Yeah.
with the resistance.
Yeah.
And so it just looks like you're, walking into this nondescript park on this planet.
So then that was our first experience, and then we got on and everything was good. Then we went again. I guess. When did we? Oh, we went again in November. Not all of us, but me and Tim and Nora and my mom went in November of 2021, and it's completely different now.
again,
They
yeah.
don't have the virtual queue anymore,
Right.
so you don't have to get up at 7. But they have a whole new system for reserving your spot. They don't have fast passes anymore. They have this Lightning Lane and Genie Plus service, which is extremely confusing. So you can, when you go to purchase tickets, you can add on a $15 charge to your tickets for every day for everybody, $15 a person for every ticket. That gives you Lightning Lane passes. And
Let's not explain Genie Plus and Light. The
Okay.
gist is you have to pay extra to ride
You
the
have
ride
to-
Yes.
reserve a
but-
spot.
And it's still a huge
but
thing.
so
Right?
Rise of the Resistance isn't even included in that $15.
Right.
So
It's
you
a
can
different
it's a
per
different
ride
Yeah.
amount.
So
that
every-
changes based on how busy the park is. The busier
Right.
the park,
the price
the more
changes.
expensive the
Right.
price is.
So every one of the 4 parks has 2 rides that are like super exclusive or whatever, super in demand that they don't include in the basic Lightning Lane. So those you have to
That's
pay
Genie Plus. They don't
extra.
include in Genie Plus. Lightning
Yeah.
Lane is the per ride pay one. And that one ideally you would do at 7 in the morning.
So
Again.
yeah, so you do have to get up. So if you have
But you can pick your
again,
time.
if there's multiple times listed, and it's very confusing because you have to you can only do 2
That's Genie
pay.
Plus. Don't worry about Genie Plus.
Well, it's still confusing because you have to work in.
Why bother cutting her off on this? Like, we've already talked about
Right.
Disney World.
Because
the
it's going to
entire
change.
80 minutes
it's
of
already
the
changed
podcast.
4 times. It's such a confusing system.
It is very confusing.
It's not even
But
worth
that's my
talking about.
point. I'm complaining because they make these systems so
Right.
confusing for people.
And the worst part is if you take somebody who's not technically adept,
That's what I was gonna
somebody who's
talk about.
I need you to help me figure out how to send a text message on my phone,
Right.
which is half of the world.
It's old people.
They're
Yeah.
completely lost.
I felt so bad when the first time we went to Galaxy's Edge, when we got into Rise of the Resistance, there was at one point I saw this man. He wasn't 80 years old, but he was older, and he was talking to this employee or whatever you call him, and he was
I really just want to ride
confused.
this ride.
He was confused.
How do I
He's
ride this stupid ride?
He's I got on the app. He's I got on the app. There's nothing there. It doesn't give me any times. He was didn't understand. You literally have 4 seconds.
Yeah.
You get on at 7 a.m. and that's it. And then, but I don't know if they did this when you went. If you were in the park at 1:00 p.m., they opened up more slots.
So at the time that I did it, they did everything at 7 a.m.
Yeah,
for
now
the
they
whole
do.
day.
Now they do 7 a.m. and then 1 p.m.
Right.
But 1 p.m. you definitely have to be in the park for.
Yeah.
So I felt so bad for people. This is the
But
new
they
thing,
still-
the most exclusive thing. And if you're going there just to see this, you shouldn't have to research it months in advance and watch YouTube videos to understand how to get in line. It's
Well, they
so
still have
confusing.
now. They have the standby line. So, worst case scenario, I went from Belarus to Florida for the first time in my life just to ride Rise of the Resistance. You can stand in the standby lane for 2 hours and
Yes.
get to ride the ride.
Yes.
So
Whereas
some of
before,
them, not
when I
all
went,
of
that
them.
was not the case. If
Yeah.
you didn't get a group, you're done.
What is the ride, guys? We want to describe that at all?
Yeah, we will.
I mean, I
Yeah,
feel
we-
like we've been on a roller coaster already.
Well,
just trying to get to
there's
the
no
ride.
roller coaster. It's
There's
just,
so much adrenaline,
just the uphill.
stress, and pain
Just the uphill
trying
part.
to get to the ride.
just the uphill part.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
you
the
guys can.
stressful, horrible part.
It's my point is Disney makes it extremely difficult
Oh
to
my
experience
gosh.
what you want to experience there. It's
What's
so
the
hard.
ride? The ride that you tell. What's the ride?
It's more of like an immersive experience
Yeah,
Right.
with a ride in the middle,
Yeah. Yep.
toward middle
Well, at
end.
the end. Yeah.
And so you, like I mentioned, you go through this. It looks like you're walking into just a nondescript park in Batuu. So
Right.
first, Batuu is the planet that Galaxy's Edge takes place on.
Right.
So when you cross under this bridge, it's like you're going to Batuu, the planet.
Right.
And once they have the super duper mega Star Wars hotel, the Starliner, you'll take a bus that looks like a transport ship. Like you get into it and it looks like you're in a spaceship,
Yeah.
and it'll take you to Batuu like you're docking there like on a cruise ship. You're doing a day trip.
I thought I thought it was literally attached.
No,
Oh.
you have to get in. It's hilarious. It's a box truck that has like a door on the side of it that looks like a Star Wars door that's gonna slide up.
Oh my gosh.
And then inside the box truck, it looks like this super fancy transport ship.
Okay.
And then they're gonna drive the box truck over to Batuu and drop you off. But it's cool because if you never left the Galaxy's Edge area and you were doing the Starliner thing, it would be like you just landed on the planet
Yeah.
and you hung out and then you left the planet. You went back up to the cruise. It's a cool idea.
Yeah. It is
And
cool.
it's a really immersive area. So you go, like I said, you're in this, looks like you're in this park, and then slowly you realize it's like a resistance base.
Yep.
And you get recruited by some crew members to go help the resistance on this mission. And then you get on a transport ship, and it's like you're flying up into space and you're going to go help. And like you get tracked. It's been so long, but I'm pretty sure you get tractor beamed into a Star Destroyer.
Yes, you do.
And then
There's stormtroopers.
there's stormtroopers.
And
It
and
looks
they
like
put
you're in
you
an airlock.
They put you in
Yeah,
lines,
it is really
and they
cool.
like come and like just pick on you and pick on different people and talk to you when you're in line and try to make jokes and stuff or try to scare people.
And eventually they put you in the brig.
Right.
And then we get busted out by
By the resistance.
by Finn, yeah. And then all throughout from that point on, you're like being chased by Kylo Ren and
oh, that
A
part's
bunch of
really
AT-ATs.
cool.
yeah,
They have Kylo Ren. He kind of looks like a hologram or something.
Yeah.
And it's really cool.
and so you end up getting into these carts that can move in all two dimensions, really. So they'll move sideways, forward, backwards, sort of autonomously. They're not on rails. They're on software rails, but they're not on hard rails like a normal ride would be.
Right.
So every time you ride it, it could be a different experience. Like the car you're in could do something completely different than the last time you rode it.
Whoa. I didn't even realize that.
It
Oh, wait. Yeah, I did. Because I've been on the Mickey ride and it does that.
does the same thing, yeah. And so you zip around the Star Destroyer and we help destroy some guns, and Kylo's everywhere and they're shooting, and the AT-AT's trying to blast you, and AT-STs, and it's...
oh, the calamari guy is in the beginning, right?
Well, there's a Mon Cal general is kind of briefing you in the transport.
Yeah.
And Nia Num.
Yeah, Nia Nun's in there. He's your pilot. So you eventually get to the point where we go into the escape pods on the Star Destroyer, and then there's like a drop that's synced really well to the escape pods falling off. So it feels really good, like really immersive.
Yeah, I close my eyes every time.
Well, I didn't. So Job, when we went at the time, was super afraid of drops. He didn't want to ride any rides with drops.
I still am.
And I didn't tell him that the ride had a drop because I knew it had like it's like a 10, 12-foot drop. It's not huge, but it's a drop. And so I was waiting for him to feel it, and he loved it. So
Wow.
now he likes drops because of that ride. But then you fly back to Batuu, and it's like the ships crashed all over, and you go back out into the park. Like you leave the resistance base, and there's crashed ships everywhere.
But you succeeded in your mission.
Right. And like the whole thing from start to finish takes 25 minutes between the walking around and the
And that's not
shuttling
any
and
line. Like that's the actual ride itself.
right, the experience. So it's really
Yeah, you run
It
into a bunch of
feels like-
actors. It's fun.
it feels like you got all the stress of getting to that point was worth it.
And then you get off, and there's a souvenir shop.
Sort of.
It's outdoors. You can buy super realistic helmets. Like all the merch that's in there is like realistic to the world, as if you teleported to Batu. And like all the cast members will only talk to you as if they are in the Star Wars universe. They talk about getting things off the planet. Max is trying to come in. He's 4 now. Hi, Max and Dog and Daisy. Both dogs. See, now we have a room that's big enough for all these people to come in here while we're recording.
He probably doesn't even remember us recording before.
No, probably not.
No, because we always had to try to like fool him, because otherwise he would be crying because his mom was gone. Anyway, so we have a new podcast studio. That's a good segue with the interruption. Jennifer and I bought a new house, and that's a good segue too. So we had that in the old recording studio, a big Princess Leia button.
It's an easy button.
Yeah, it's an easy button.
Princess
Leia, and Max just pushed it. So anyway, we have a new studio. It's in the basement. We finished a room specifically to be the recording studio. We insulated it really well.
Moderately well.
Well, thank you. Moderately well. Yes, that's true.
It's not like a attic teepee, but
No, it's not
It
like
might
an attic
do.
TPU
We'll see
where
when the
wasps
acoustics
can attack you.
Come out.
I think it's going to sound great.
There are rabbits.
only one
There are rabbits, 2 dogs, and a kid.
in this room right now.
The other rabbit died.
After
We built
moved
a
here.
room specifically for the rabbits right off the studio. And don't ever buy a rabbit. They smell like farm. What did he just say?
I don't know.
Sounded like he... Oh my gosh. Okay. What did they... I got Jen a wine cooler for Valentine's Day.
A wine cooler?
Yeah, it chills...
Oh, you mean like a fridge?
like a fridge. But
wine
it
fridge.
keeps the wine at 55 degrees.
Whatever wine temperature is.
Right, so she doesn't have to wait any time at all for her wine. She can just tell me, and I don't have to put it in the fridge for 20 minutes. And I can get the wine immediately and open it and pour it for her.
And it's at wine temperature.
It's at wine temperature, correct?
And
Correct.
I'm almost out of this glass.
I know, that's why I mentioned it while you were distracted.
I am distracted. What do you think
Anyway,
of this room, Josh? You've been in here, but it's different since you've been in.
They didn't put in all the counters you said you wanted, which is weird. But
It got changed.
clearly,
'Cause there's a bunch of reasons.
yeah, it looked like a room.
It does. It looks like, well, it's a pretty nice room. I spent a lot of money on granite countertop because I didn't want that cheap laminate feel. And
It
Yeah, the
is
room's
very
good.
granite.
yeah. Yep, sure is.
It's like we're in the Hall of Presidents.
You are. Max, can you go shut the door? I don't want all the TV in the background.
It's
Thank
like,
you.
There's no TV in here. What are you talking about?
He knows what I'm talking about.
There's no TV in
Thanks, Max.
Yeah, so it's a room. We have Star Wars stuff up. Next podcast, I should have the video thing worked out.
here. It's the least Star Wars room ever, though.
What do you mean?
Like,
Look at my fan. Oh, you can't see
yeah,
it.
it's a very futuristic
Yeah, it's a
looking
very
fan.
futuristic-
that's the thing
fan.
is Star Wars isn't futurism. That's Star Trek. Star Wars is like
No, this looks like a
Deco
fan that would
futurism.
be on Home One.
Eh,
It would be
It's-
cooling you on a Nebulan B frigate.
no, I don't think so. There's not enough kelp hanging from it. It's just it's a modern aesthetic,
It is.
which is not Star Wars.
No, but we did that on purpose. But I have Star Wars Legos and some lightsabers that we got. They have like a bunch of shops, and like I said, all of them are semi-authentic, like Star Wars-y things.
Well, the shops are. You
yeah,
think you're in a real
you
world
can't
shop,
you can't get a T-shirt that says Star Wars on it.
right?
Like you have to buy a Jedi robe. Like it's pretty cool. Anyway, they sell 2 lightsabers in 2 spots. One, you can buy like heavy duty lightsabers that light up, and you have to have a thing and
That doesn't make any sense.
You
You have to have a thing.
Yeah, you have to have the
A
twisty,
kyber crystal.
Well, the kyber crystal, yeah, but you have to have the blade, and you push it down and you turn it, and you have to get that on a plane. It's kind of hard. Anyway, you can buy those. They're like hyper realistic.
They're
really good. They're really
they're supposed to be replicas of character lightsabers.
Right.
That's the key thing.
I have Rey's and I have Princess Leia's, so I guess I have a thing for chick sabers.
And then the second place
Yeah,
is
I haven't been there.
it's super cool for starters. It's like this another immersive experience where it's supposed to be like a secret shop in the back alleys of Batuu where you can build a lightsaber. You craft your own lightsaber. There's a big theatrical experience. You kind of pick between a couple themes and they bring out a bunch of disparate parts and you kind of pick from different bins and you're like building your lightsaber as you go along, picking all the different pieces. And then finally when you're done, you stick it in this thing and then there's this whole moment where everyone's lightsabers turn on and it's really cool.
Oh, that sounds neat.
Yeah, when we went, Job got to make his own lightsaber and he
Nice.
loved it.
I made my own droid.
We want to do the maker. He wants to do the droid the next time we go, and Lucy's going to make her own lightsaber the next time we go.
The droid is like the droid experience is very much like the lightsaber experience you described. It's very, very similar.
They're incredibly expensive.
Yeah, they're like $100 something bucks.
The lightsaber was $100. The experience was $160 when we went.
Yeah, it's not that. I don't think it was that much when I went. Well, maybe it was. I don't know. It was friggin' expensive, but I did it anyway because I wanted to, and I took my sweet time. And like cast members kept coming up, and they
Do you
were
need
like,
help?
They were like, yeah.
Do you know how this?
Are you doing okay?
Yeah, do you know how
I'm
this
like,
tool
I'm
works?
just trying to really pick my color scheme. It was hard because I wanted it to be really eclectic, but the color palette didn't look right together at all. So they were incentivizing you to basically build a same colored droid because of the colors that they picked.
Yeah,
They could have definitely picked a color palette that worked together or clashed
was
enough
more
together that made it-
complementary.
yeah, more something. I don't know. I wanted it to be a punk rock droid. I even got the independent and paid extra for the scoundrel or whatever brain droid. It was like
Droid brain?
$6 more. Yes, droid brain.
I'm back.
And there's a bunch of shops and there's a bar. It's like a cantina. You go up to it and with all the food stuff now, like you can just walk up, and that's actually a lot cooler because it feels like you're actually getting your drink from a bar.
Well,
like,
and everything
from an
is-
actual
Well, you
cantina.
don't just walk up. You have to do a mobile order pickup.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah, so that's very different than just walking up.
You just walk up to pick it up. That's
You
what
have
I
to-
was saying.
You don't
Order it in
well
advance.
before that there would be a giant line just to get into the room.
There
or
still is a line.
at Oda's Cantina, you had to reserve on the Fast Pass system a spot.
I've never even been into that cantina or
I
gotten
have.
anything there.
I have.
I didn't get to go either, but Megan and her mom went.
Another
The
thing.
food was delicious.
And it's super themed. Like, that's the cool
Yeah.
part is everything feels like everything on Batuu. It feels very in-world, not like you're at a theme park.
Yeah, it's super cool.
One thing that I didn't like, and I think is really confusing, besides the virtual queue for Rise of the Resistance, is like there's all of these different lines everywhere, and you don't even know what the lines are for.
It
and
wasn't like
you
that
have
last
to
time.
know. Well, it was.
I think
I
part
was
of it
there
was because
last
I've
time.
been there once now, so I know where stuff is.
I mean, as it's not on days, it's not as busy. The lines aren't going to be as obvious, but you just see people in these lines everywhere, wrapped around everything, and it's not obvious at all what they're even in line for. And there, you had to get in a virtual queue to get in a line to have the privilege to look in the gift shops.
Some of them, yeah.
You and like the gift shop is not even like walking into a shop. It was like an alcove.
Right.
Like just a tiny little alcove with a few shelves. And you could possibly be in line for 2 hours to get to walk through. I think they had like 4 or 5 of those, like you could just walk through, and they all had a different theme. But
Yeah, when we went, the
was-
lightsaber shop was like a 1 hour line
there was
just to go in.
it was hours to get into
Wow.
the gift shop.
So what I did is I acted like a stupid person because Job just wanted to see it. So we just walked in, and everyone starts freaking out. You gotta wait in the back line. It's like, dude, I'm not gonna buy anything. I have a 5-year-old kid. He just wants to see it. You really gonna kick me out? And everyone's like, boo, 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 boo.
I'm surprised they didn't. I mean, there's like a lot
Yeah.
of people that don't buy stuff that just want to go see it.
All right, well, whatever. My
It was-
strategy worked.
It was really hard to figure out what the lines were for and what you were supposed to do. And
But this
like
was
the first-
pre-COVID. Like
right,
with COVID
yeah.
protocols, I could see it being
Yeah,
more
that's
strict.
different. That's true. The first time that we went, Tim wanted to build a droid or build his own lightsaber, and we like literally could not figure out how to do it. Like we tried, and I searched
We had
the
to
app.
sign up.
Yeah, you have to
months
sign up
in advance.
Yes, yeah. We had this. So then, like the second time we went, I had to book him a time to build a droid before we went.
Right.
Like none of this stuff is like intuitive or obvious. Like you have to do so much research to know what you're doing. You can't just show up. Like
You definitely can't show
there's
up.
just so much that you have to do to like fully even get to see this stuff. It's hard. It's a lot of
It's
work.
hard work.
It
Disney
is.
World is hard
it's
work.
extremely difficult.
And there's a ride where you get to fly the Millennium Falcon, and like 2 people are
2 drivers, 2 gunners, and 2 engineers, right?
something like that.
Smuggler's Run.
No.
Lucy and I were the pilots.
It's pretty cool.
Tim doesn't like it because it makes him
It
sick.
does make me sick. It is really neat though. I mean, it feels like you're really doing something. Flying is really awkward, like really, really awkward.
How does that ride make you sick, but Flight of Passage doesn't?
Flight of Passage does not make me sick. I don't
Flight
know.
of Passage was way worse for me
Oh no, not even
than
close.
Smuggler's
Flight
Run.
of Passage is an Avatar
Smuggler's
ride.
Run makes Nora sick too.
Weird.
Yeah, I know what they're talking about. Like I'm not as sensitive to it, but I know what they're saying. Like it's not exactly pleasant, and I can see how it can make people. I don't know. It's just like the lights and
very
the motion
jerky.
and
It's jerky. That's what it is. And there's a
I think it's the fast lights.
there's a Millennium Falcon, like a replica looking one that is like life size, true to
it's
life.
parked there in the middle of Batu.
The only thing I really wish that you could walk onto the Millennium Falcon.
But that's the thing is like the whole ride is set up so it's like you're getting onto that Falcon.
Right. I get that.
And you kind of walk through a couple hallways and you can look around the corner and it looks like the Falcon.
Yeah, it's just not enough. I wanted to actually. I want to
You want
go
your own
inside
Falcon.
one. Right. Yes.
Well, you don't get to have one.
I know that. I noticed that.
And one thing about Galaxy's Edge is the way that it's like the whole world is set up. It's like you can't see everything all at once. It's not open up at all.
Well,
it's
it's
like
like a
very
tight
it's
city.
very tight and like you just have to kind of like wander around and go around the corners and you have no idea what's coming and like the first time you go it can be really confusing because you don't know where anything is. And there's like signs in foreign alien languages. Like nothing helps you figure out where you're going.
Well, that's like the
Yeah.
Discovery.
But you have to kind of like walk
You
around.
gotta not be so pent up about, I gotta get here at
Well,
7:48.
they make you sell your firstborn child so you can get a virtual queue to get in line, and then you only have 20 minutes to get there. So it's hard, but it's really, really cool the way everything looks. There's a lot of like droids and different things set up everywhere.
Ships
like a
and-
lot of
sure.
like photo ops. Like everything looks really, really cool. And then they have this one area where I don't even know what it's supposed to be. It's like this walkway above you, and like characters will just come out and just like walk around and pose. And sometimes it's Rey, and sometimes it's Chewbacca, and it's
Well, and,
really
like,
cool.
People walk through maybe this, because you only ever went during COVID, maybe they stopped doing this. But when we were there, like just, there would be random stormtroopers walking through. There would be Imperial officers. So one time an Imperial officer tried to arrest Job. when we were
I don't
walking
think
around.
they did that during COVID.
Kylo Ren came out. Ray came out.
I think that they just do it on that walkway
Yeah.
now so that people aren't like too close to them.
So at the pre-COVID, like that was all happening. The walkway was there, but then also just out in the park, there was characters all the time.
Yeah, they haven't been doing that.
They have them up on stages.
Yeah, that's what I was telling.
Oh, okay.
So, what was I going to say?
I don't know.
That's Galaxy's Edge.
Did you talk about the lightsabers that you
And the
got?
droids. And
Yeah.
did we talk about the bathrooms? It's like
No.
you pee in like a trough kind of.
I didn't go to the bathroom there, so I didn't have any idea about the bathroom.
Yeah, it's like a private trough.
How do you go more than 15 minutes without going to the bathroom?
I just walk. I just keep walking.
She has no idea.
Usually when we're at Disney, we're walking so much. Like I don't have to go to the bathroom very often at all.
Walking makes you not have to pee?
Yeah, your body just is like, hey, I'm walking. This would be a terrible time to pee. So
Josh.
let's just not pee.
Josh is less evolved than us. he's still a hunter gatherer. What else did you want to talk about on this podcast? She's got like a.
Did you talk about the
8-page
blue and green milk and like the fancy Coke bottles?
No.
They have proton or what are they called?
Proton detonator.
thermal
Thermal
detonators.
detonators. Looking soda
Jeez
bottles.
And it's
What a
just
Star Wars
regular
fan I
old
am.
Coke, and it's like in a
Or
tiny.
Sprite.
Oh yeah, Coke or Sprite
Diet Coke.
in a very small bottle. But when you're there,
I have one up there.
They're
I
like
feel like
$9.
I was gonna say I feel like you're willing to pay $15 for that
Well, you
tiny
get the
little
you get
Coke.
the one so that you have it.
Yeah, I have it. It's the Diet
But
Coke
it's
one.
like the best Coke you've
cool.
ever tasted because you're so hot and you probably exhausted from everything they put you
But the
through
blue
at that
milk
point.
is not good.
I didn't try any of the other.
Alcoholic or otherwise.
I think I don't think either one of them were gross.
Megan had a cocktail. I don't know what, because again, I wasn't there. But she said it was good, and whatever my mother-in-law
Yeah,
got
you
was
can
good.
do blue or green milk, and you can do them both with or without alcohol.
they
I
have
think I
other
did them
cocktails,
both,
and the other cocktails are good.
but it's not something that you would like be like, oh my gosh, this is delicious. I'm gonna have this again.
Well, a
you
lot
just
of them
like
are
get
about
it
it
like
being cool looking.
Yeah, it's
like, 'cause
cool
some of
looking.
them have smoke, and the cups
Yeah.
are lit, and things like that.
Yeah.
yeah.
It's the experience. But if you don't get to sit in the cantina, you don't get that experience.
Yeah, that's very true.
Yeah, I've never been in the canteen, and I've been there
They should
twice.
have like a secret Star Wars or park for like us, like a backside to it.
That only us can go
Yeah,
to.
that's. I don't know why they haven't done that yet.
Me either. I mean, the rich and famous. We're famous.
Oh yeah, super famous.
We are. What else you got? Jenny's calling the shots for this
So
episode, I guess.
we
She's
might
the producer.
we might go
No.
back.
Mm-mm.
Josh is definitely going.
We're definitely going back in November.
He's going in November.
Long time from now.
I think we're going.
We are maybe probably going.
Pretty sure.
We are. I
we're
am
going.
definitely going in May. May 5th, around that time. I have
So
to
am
go
I.
for cheerleading.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's why it's like a 4-day trip, and
Ugh.
then when we go and we don't have to do cheer. I don't know.
I'm just gonna go and tag along like I did last time, because otherwise you have to pay for every person that's in the room.
Yeah.
It's really crappy.
Yeah, when we do it through cheerleading, we
Yeah,
have to.
yeah,
It's a
yeah.
long story.
Yeah. We don't.
More archaic systems
Yes.
that
It is
humans have
very
invented
archaic.
to ruin everyone's fun.
Yes.
Where are you staying? Oh yeah, you already told me. Never mind.
We're staying at the Contemporary. The listeners haven't heard.
Yeah, Contemporary and Caribbean Beach.
Yeah, my son Job, he really wants to stay at the Contemporary.
Me too.
So we're doing it.
That would be really cool.
I think we're gonna go at the same time. Maybe. Oh, can I come see your room?
Yeah,
Yes.
Well, they're going. I wasn't gonna go this
What?
early as that.
we're going, and we have a Parkview side, so
Dude.
we'll get to watch the fireworks from the
Nice.
Contemporary.
That's
I was just
awesome.
gonna say I could tell you a really good spot to watch the fireworks from the Contemporary.
Yeah, my room.
Oh man. Well, I haven't thought of that good of a spot.
We were there in November, so we went in May last year.
They're
For
never. You're
cheerleading.
never there intentionally. Well, not usually.
In November, yeah,
Intentionally to go to Disney World, you're
yeah,
there
it's
for
usually for
cheerleading.
cheerleading. Every May we have to go for cheerleading, but then this year we went in November, And so that's the first time. It's like the sixth or seventh time I've been to Disney now, and it's the first time I haven't gone when it's been like smoldering hot outside.
It's way more fun when it's not hot.
It did rain a lot
In the fall
in November,
it does. Yeah.
but
Right at
it
the
was
tail end of
never.
hurricane
I
season.
only put sunscreen on like one day. Like it was never. I could wear pants every day, but I never was cold. Like it was.
When we went
nice.
in February, the coldest it was 62, and that would only be in the morning.
Yeah.
And it didn't rain the whole time we were there. It was perfect. It was
Yeah,
like
I went-
65.
I went in January. It was basically the same way.
But
Or I used to go
so we
in
would have gone. We would have gone this year in the same time frame because the timing of it was perfect. But Job really wants to go. We do all this stupid crap for our kids. Job really wants to go when the Christmas stuff is up.
Well, the Christmas stuff was up when we went in November, and
Right.
I was underwhelmed. It was just
But
like.
to you and I, it's like, hey, look, they hung some garland on that thing.
I know.
But to him, it's like, look, they've got garland on that thing.
Yeah.
Well,
He's super excited
I
about
was
it.
super excited about it because we went during the 50th anniversary and Christmas decoration time, and I thought I was going to get blown away.
And
And
they
it
hung
was
some
like
garland on that
not
thing.
really a
he
big
would
deal.
have if he'd gone to Epcot.
It was not a big deal.
She
like-
skipped Epcot, so she has no idea.
I went to Epcot.
Oh, I skipped Epcot
Um,
because I didn't want to spend so much money on tickets.
every park and every hotel has like great big huge Christmas trees
Right.
that are really pretty, and I like Christmas trees and everything, but like
With
there
all
wasn't.
their own unique theme.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
wasn't. I mean, I just thought there'd be more. The way I like heard it all built up, I thought there'd be more.
Yeah.
It was pretty, but
don't know, but
like
that's-
now, I don't need to go see it again.
That's why we're going in November. And we're going in the week that's supposed to be the least busy week of the year.
I don't think there is one of those anymore.
But there's definitely
Wait,
peaks and valleys.
yeah,
Because we're going, there's no holidays within like a 2-week window on either side.
yeah.
It's right at the end of hurricane season.
During school.
It's during school, and it's like when it's coldest in Florida. Like it's all the stars are aligning for trying to get people to not go.
We went in the end of November, but it was like before Thanksgiving, and I was
that's gonna be
surprised.
busy.
It wasn't like horribly busy, but it was not. I thought it'd be less busy. But with that whole new Genie Plus system, which I could go on about for 4 hours,
She mastered it. I didn't have to wait in a single line.
we didn't wait in the
I went
line
on
except for Aladdin because
I
I'm
went
not
on
going to waste
every
it on
single
Aladdin.
ride that I wanted to go on.
And
Every single one, and I waited in 0 lines.
the thing is they changed it since you went.
No, they didn't.
Yeah, they did.
To what?
At the very end of the year, they changed how Genie Plus works.
How does it work now?
Now there's all these cooldowns on when you can reserve rides. It used to be you could start reserving earlier, and there was only like a 30-minute cooldown window, and they extended it to 2 hours. So now if you start reserving right
At
when you
7.
get there, the most you can have by 1 o'clock is 4 reservations, and your lightning lane counts as a reservation if you do. one.
They did that when I went. You could only do one lightning lane at a time, and then you could
That's the
do
same.
2 others. So you could only do 3 at a time.
So this one, there's no limit on how many you can have at a time, but you can only make reservations every 2 hours. So you make your lightning lane one, and then you wait 2 hours, and then you can make your next reservation, and then you can wait 2 hours. And the only way you can do it faster is if the last thing you reserved, you ride.
I don't know why they keep changing it.
Because
Yeah, when I did it, you could wake up. You had to be up by 7, and
Right.
then you could do your first lightning lane because you could only do one lightning lane at a time. But you can do as many lightning lanes as you want throughout the day, as long as you just do
only
one
have
at a
one
time.
at a time. But
And
that's
then you could
you
do.
keep conflating lightning lane and Genie Plus.
No, that is like
Oh my god!
There's-
No one cares. It's going to be different.
It's
in
different.
tomorrow.
They changed it. And
They
in
changed-
in
it's different
November,
tomorrow.
it's going to be different again.
there's a whole
Okay.
different term for
All
the
right.
thing where you buy the rides
lightning
individually.
lane.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
Yes, it
I
is.
bet my life it's not.
I'll bet your life too.
So
Okay.
typically, oh my gosh, they just shook with their left hands. This podcast has to end now. This was a mistake bringing it back.
So,
All right. So normally the format of the podcast is we pick a topic, we talk about it. usually a little more engaging than that, I hope.
This is going to sound really weird to people in 2024.
No, they're gonna be like, "Oh my gosh, they used to."
There was no gap, so it's going to be like, why are you explaining the format of the podcast out of the blue?
Yeah, okay. Great. So we
The
do
way
that.
you embrace the gap is
And-
you act like the gap didn't exist.
I'm not going to act like the gap didn't exist completely.
You just say this is season 3.
We've barely seen each other.
I never
in 2
agreed
years.
to switching to season 2. You did that on your own.
Whatever.
Anyway,
I don't even-
then we read letters. Letters at StarWarsNerdsUnite.com. If you email that, we will read your letter on the podcast and respond to it. And you're right, that will sound really weird in the future. I just teleported myself in my head.
Yeah.
Dang it.
So things we're
Well-
going to talk about:
Yeah, we're going to talk about the Mandalorian.
Mandalorian,
A bunch
Boba
of comic
Fett.
books.
Not a bunch of comic
Well, I
books.
read a bunch of comic books. I'm going to talk about them.
Did you watch the Star Wars anime show?
Yes.
Did you like it?
I think that's wasting content.
Okay. Well, we're going to talk about that too.
That was called Visions
Yeah.
for those. Because there may have been multiple anime shows by this point in the future.
Let's just not worry about the people of
Star
the
Wars
future.
Vision Season 1. So far, we have seen Mandalorian Season 1 and 2, and the Book of Boba Fett Season
Season
1. Obi-Wan's coming out soon.
I'm excited about
Ahsoka's
Obi-Wan.
coming out soon.
I'm excited.
There's
for
all sorts of
it.
TV shows that have happened and are coming. There's no movies in any.
Pipeline.
Nobody knows when the next movie's going to be.
Right.
Just rumor.
What's the rumor?
So they had announced some projects a couple years ago, or a year ago. Like they had announced a movie with Taika Waititi, just called Star Wars. They didn't give a title for it. That clicky keyboard is brought to you by Tim.
Yep, I didn't wiggle the mouse, so the screen went blank, and I have to watch and make sure that the
actually
recording continues.
so that we don't have to re-talk about Lightning Genie Pass for
Oh my gosh.
45 minutes.
Jeez Louise, I almost died.
So then there was a movie with Patty Jenkins that was going to be Rogue Squadron
Oh,
that was supposed to be the next movie, and they were supposed to release it in 2023, but all words are that nothing's been worked on. They're not ready to film. It may not happen.
that's sad.
Yada yada yada. So no, there's a long time ago they announced some movies with the two people who made Game of Thrones, the two producers of Game of Thrones.
Yeah, and because Game of Thrones stunk so bad.
Well, then they signed an exclusive contract with Netflix.
Oh, right.
So their whole thing was gone. Then there was supposedly they got Ryan Johnson to agree to do a trilogy of movies, and he's like, yeah, still on the back burner, still want to do it.
Is he? I thought he quit because they
No, he didn't quit.
changed his movie so much.
But they've announced nothing. Whereas Marvel and they've announced we've got these 7 movies coming out over the next 3 years.
Eh.
That's true.
Well, yeah, that's true. I just was reacting to them putting movies out.
Well, the whole thing is they're going to do Indiana Jones.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
Oh my
See?
gosh.
That's good. I'm with you.
I feel like a company like Disney has the bandwidth to develop multiple
Multiple
franchises
movies.
at the same time.
Especially when they own all the studios now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it just feels like there's no movies on the horizon that have been announced. The shows are fine, but there's something about the movies that are more unique.
Yeah. They're more exciting. But I found now that The Mandalorian's come out, the TV show format works perfectly for Star Wars. I'm really happy that we have that in our lifetime. Can you imagine? If you died in 1998.
It has its pros and its cons, I would say.
What are the cons?
It doesn't feel as epic. And a lot of its story choices.
That's true.
But
Yeah, a lot of it is that it's lone wolf and cub. Oh wait, I'm blowing Mandalorian
for that series, but
Yeah.
none of the storyline they try and have big scope, but then there really isn't big scope.
Right. What's big scope for the characters?
Right.
I feel like the shows are more like the comics. Like they're telling you the stories that you wouldn't know anything about if you only watched the movies.
Well,
and they're like giving you more.
That's because you have a
the
perspective
details.
of the movies is more important than everything else. That's why you think that.
No, because I think that the movies are more popular to the general masses. But if you are a really big Star Wars fan and you want to know all the little details of characters that are lesser known, then you're going to get it from comics and books and the shows.
I bet you there's more people that know who Grogu is than know who Finn is.
I actually agree.
So I don't think the
They even
audience
know
smaller.
his name is Grogu.
Right.
Which is nuts.
I just think the scope of the stories is smaller and like it's just not. It's just different.
Yeah. It's like Clone Wars.
To some
Clone Wars was
extent,
bigger.
but it had a big, huge scope too.
Yeah. Yeah, it had a huge scope. Galactic, perhaps.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm ready to end the podcast. What about you guys? Perfect. Sounds good. All right.
We haven't talked about, like you talked about how you guys moved. Has anything else happened? Nolan
A lot
graduated
has
high
happened.
school.
I feel like a million things have happened.
Who cares?
Nolan
Nobody cares in the
graduated high
future.
school. I graduated. I have my doctorate degree and my nurse practitioner license.
I worked too much, got super stressed, and moved. Big whoop. Got a new job.
I'm going to start a new job in the summer.
Not training anymore.
I'm going to be a nurse practitioner. A real
At a
nurse.
ner-
A
Ergo.
real nurse.
And at
Like a
an
prompt
ergo,
care.
Where?
kind of. I don't know which one yet. I'm going to move around at first, and then I'll find out later because they're short.
Hopefully Washington.
Yeah.
I don't
Hopefully
know.
ideal.
Maybe. Lots of
Hopefully
stuff
town.
happened. We've been in our new house over a year now.
Yeah, it
More-
took him forever to get the room done. It was really frustrating. And then it took me forever to get the equipment in because I kept coming up with better stuff to do.
two
What's
of
the
was
deal with
basically
the
work.
huge house on the end?
They're building one.
They're constantly
It's
building
huge.
houses everywhere around us. When
Yeah,
we
we-
moved in, we
yeah.
had a cul-de-sac at the very end of this subdivision. We were the only house. Everything
Yeah,
else was
no one had
fields and
bought
woods.
These lots for years.
And as soon as we move in, 2 months later, somebody's building a house next door to us, across the street from us, behind us, everywhere. Now,
I'm just alarmed by the size of that one house. It looks like it's going to be ginormous.
It is going to be really big.
yeah, and
that's
they're
fine.
building a pretty big house
It'll
right
raise
on
my
the end
property
of the
values,
cul-de-sac.
right?
So
Maybe it'll be a $1 million house.
Maybe. Doubt it, but
I don't
It'll
think
be
so.
big.
I doubt it too. All right. Well, that's the podcast for
What
you.
has Josh been up to? He's been working remotely.
I've been working remotely since March of 2020. That's about it.
That's it.
What else
No,
am I
it's
gonna
not.
do?
You bought a Tesla.
Oh, that's
It's amazing.
Jeez.
whatever.
It's like flying an X-Wing.
It's not. It's like driving a car, just electric. I also got rid of my gas lawnmower. You'll be happy to hear. I have an electric lawnmower.
Oh,
Wow.
nice.
Ooh la la.
So now I really don't consume gasoline ever.
Whoa.
Yeah,
Nice work.
feels good.
Feels good, man.
Now if only I could have solar at my house, but I
Why
can't
can't
because
you?
the roof is got too many gables in it. So like
We talked about getting solar on our roof.
once I can, so over the pandemic, we built a giant structure in our backyard for our kids to play on, like in 4 different phases. It's almost $2,700 worth of wood.
Oh my,
So you can imagine how big it is.
oh my gosh. Jeez.
And they never play on
Some
it.
people call those
That's weird.
playgrounds.
Well, it's equivalent to a playground.
You could charge people.
We could.
Your milkshake.
It has a
brings-
climbing wall.
Your
It's got
milkshake
4
brings
swings.
all the kids to the
It's
yard.
got a twirly slide. It's got a clubhouse. It's got all kinds of stuff.
Wow.
It's a kid's dream if your kids aren't mine.
Maybe Max could come over and play on
He
it.
could. And that would actually get my kids to go outside and play with it. But whenever that thing can go away, if I'm still living in that house, I'm going to build a thing and put solar panels in my backyard.
Doesn't Job want us to come to Disney?
Yeah, he really does. He wants everyone to come.
Oh.
Oh,
But
so we're not special.
He was super excited when I said that you guys might. Like, he jumped up and down and said, yippee.
Aw.
Oh, cool. Was he talking about me or Max?
He wasn't talking about anybody in particular.
Cool. cool. Not Jenny.
Definitely not.
Definitely not
Definitely
Jenny.
not me.
But like, so that trip, my mom and stepdad will be there,
Oh, cool.
and Sydney will be there.
You haven't met Josh's mom, have you?
Yeah, I have.
Oh, okay.
My in-laws will be there.
Are they all staying where you're staying?
No, my mom and Mike are staying at a condo.
Oh, okay.
My in-laws are staying at Music.
Oh man,
Um,
that's the worst.
Job thinks it's the coolest hotel.
Oh my gosh, I hate
It's
I know.
just so
I
busy.
hate the
It's
All-Stars
it's
so
not
much.
that there's nothing wrong with the
like a
hotel
Days
itself.
Inn.
It's just so packed, and it's just so many
My
people.
aunt and
around.
uncle that live in Colorado are coming, and they're bringing
Is Brian coming?
my Brian's dad is coming.
Oh.
My cousin Brian's not coming,
Okay.
but my cousin Brian's kids are coming. So
I didn't know this was a family reunion. Are you gonna have
it's not
shirts made?
No, like it's not. It's a thing where it's like, hey, we're going to Disney World. If you guys want to come, here's when we're coming. You're more than welcome to come. It's fun. You've come before and you had fun. And so, but the whole intent, Job wanted to see the Christmas thing, but then we also wanted to have these two kids, Hazel and Harry, my cousin's children, come with us. Because their parents they don't like let them engage with Disney at all.
Why?
They're just outdoorsy people, and like they live in Colorado, and
Disney's the enemy.
no, it's not even that. Like it's not you shall not like.
You shall not Disney.
It's just they don't have anything Disney, and so one time Hazel was over at our house, and she stayed the night, and she was 5 at the time, and it was the first time in her life she had worn a dress. She dressed up with Lucy. They dressed up as princesses. And so she at that moment, Hazel's like, I want to go to Disney World because Lucy showed her pictures and all that stuff.
Okay.
So are they going without their parents?
They're going with my aunt and uncle.
Oh,
Their grandparents.
With their grandparents. Okay, I thought you meant like you guys were taking them, like
No.
you and Megan.
But they're staying in Animal Kingdom. So there's going to be tons of people there that I know. So it'll be fun. Lots of fun stuff to do. And hopefully lots of people to pawn my kids off on.
My mom and my aunt and my cousin
Are going that same
at the same.
time
They're
frame.
like not the exact same. They're not coming in till the 8th, but they're going to be there a week.
Yeah.
So
It's going to be a family reunion on both sides.
Yeah.
It's so exciting.
Do it. Just do it.
they're staying at
We're going to come.
Pop Century,
Jenny
I think.
can't turn down an opportunity
And
to go to Disney
then
World.
they're staying at Animal Kingdom like 2 nights or something, I think.
And I don't know where we're staying yet.
This will be hopefully the only time we ever stay on site.
Why?
Why?
I loved staying at the
Orange Lake?
Holiday Inn place that we
Yeah.
stayed.
Orange Lake?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was nice.
Not because it was the place, but because it was a 2-bedroom villa. Mm-hmm. And we could go
It was as big as the rooms at Disney that are like
thousands of
$1,200
dollars
a night.
per night. And it was less than $200 a night.
And it had a full kitchen and
Right.
and
Yeah,
it
it
has
was
all
nice.
the pools.
So
and
we
everything.
could go get groceries and we could cook and we could go get sushi every night and not spend $400 on dinner.
Right.
Yeah.
The only part that sucks is having to drive to
Parking.
that transportation center.
So when we stayed at the hotels that are in Disney Springs and you could ride the bus every day, that was awesome about that.
Yeah.
But they weren't 2-bedroom villas. Like,
Right.
if only. There was a 2-bedroom villa place for less than $200 a night that had buses to the park. Let's do it.
It used to be that. It used to be that way. Long
Like
time
in the
ago.
70s?
Well, I think even in 20 years ago, the on-site hotels were much more affordable.
Yeah, you used to be able to stay at an All-Star. Like if it was
For less
super
than
cheap.
$100 a night.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
like $100.
They're not that much more than that right now. The All-Stars.
Right now, but like the time that I want to go, they're like $220 a night.
Because it's busy when you want to go.
But it's
No,
not busy.
Pop
Yeah,
Century is
okay.
only $194 a night.
Oh, so
And Pop
$13 a
Century-
night less than what I
Well,
said.
Pop Century is a step up from the All-Stars.
It's a half a step up.
Pop Century has been recently
Half a step.
renovated and they have their own bus system and all the All-Stars share the same buses. So you have to go from blah, 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 blah.
Okay.
I'm not saying any of those places. I don't care.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm going to end the podcast. We're done talking about Disney World.
For now.
In
November.
It'll be back.
If you guys have any questions about Lightning Lanes or Genie Plus, let us know.
Jenny's got the hookup. If you want to not wait in a single line
For
at Disney World,
how the system worked 3 months ago.
for how the system worked 3 months
Send her
ago.
an email.
No,
She
don't
can
send
send you
her
a
an
link
email.
to all the YouTube videos.
Call her.
I'll figure it out.
Send us an email and she'll call you.
No, but for real,
She
it's
will tell you.
extremely stressful managing all those reservations.
It's super. It is.
It's like you have to think ahead so much about where you're going to be at what time and what's your especially the more people you have, because you want to
Right.
what's
The
everybody's
parties
favorite
make
thing
it.
to do, and then how do we get everybody to see what they want to see, but you can only make 2 reservations at a time, and you don't want to make one super late in the day because then you have the whole day where you're just like out of luck.
You're
You
wasting
can't do
your time,
anything.
Right.
Oh, it's so hard.
What?
Why do we do this?
What a time to be alive.
Because
What
it's
a time.
fun. Because our kids love it. At least that's why I do it.
I used to love it a lot more than I do now. I would love it more if we could slow down. Like it's too.
That's the thing. You're always
constantly
go.
walking, and I don't want to do that.
Well, I think I've told you this before. I never went when I was a kid.
I didn't either.
The only time I got to go was when I was like 16 or 17. My dad was living in Florida at the time. And my sister and I flew to Florida and stayed with him for a week. And just one day, when it was like the weather was supposed to be bad,
Yeah.
we went and we got a park hopper and we literally rode every ride at every park without eating lines.
Yeah. It seemed like it was different.
And it was amazing. It was the most fun thing ever.
Yeah.
And now you go and it's like, oh, we rode 6 rides today.
Right.
And there was all this stress. Mm-hmm. But the kids still love it because they're not stressed out.
Maybe that's what it is.
Right.
I don't know. Anyway, letters at StarWarsNerdsUnited.com. You can send us a letter, ask us questions, get advice. We can. What else do we do? We have a website, StarWarsNerdsUnited.com. Our soundtrack, sound song is by the Fantastic Plastics. Theme song. That's the word. May the Force be with you.
We have a Twitter and an
We do.
Instagram.
Yeah, we do. Star Wars and you. Do we say that? Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
We have a Discord too, but like we haven't paid attention to it in a long time.
We haven't, but they still talk to each other.
Oh.
People still talk.
So maybe we'll engage with that more as we get more engaged with this.
Yeah, we're back. It's happening. I mean it. We have a whole space we set aside Friday nights. The only times we won't be able to is when we're out of town.
We're running out of excuses.
Yeah,
For
right.
sure.
I've run out of an excuse.
My only excuse is I usually don't have pants on.
Because
I'll
you don't need pants.
I'll go weeks at a time where I never leave my house.
You don't need pants where we're going.
Yeah. All right, I'm into it. May the Force be with you.
May the Force be with you.
May the Force be with you.
Did you hear that? We're doomed.
This podcast is a part of the Benview Network.
You can find this and other podcasts like it at BenviewNetwork.com.